I joined the club back in the early 80s.
My first year at the club was 1999.
First year at Varsity was 2002.
Yeah, so I arrived in 1973.
I've been at the club for around about 5 years.
I first played for Varsity in 2010.
I left school in 2009, so just pretty much a year straight after that.
When I came here, Graham Henry was the coach. I'd come from Auckland Grammar School.
I started in 1962.
Welcome to the Auckland University Rugby Football Club. Students of the game since 1888, royal blue, colour of dreams, proud of what it stands for, proud of its people, proud of its culture. And it's the rugby club of choice for quality people.
If you're looking for a club as a youngster, if you want to grow your game, then I think Varsity is definitely the club for you.
It's an awesome club, and I think it's not just the rugby side of it, it's also as a young bloke, it helped you build your character and mould you into a good young man.
We've produced, 21 All Blacks, 2 All Black coaches, Bryce Rope and Graham Henry.
The biggest thing for me that made me really feel a part of Varsity was the culture and the brotherhood. You turn up on Tuesdays and Thursdays and you can really feel the connection with the guys. And I'm from South Auckland and I grew up in South Auckland, so joining Varsity, I didn't really know too many people apart from the coach, under-19s coach, who asked me to join and come in, and I connected with the guys straight away and really felt accepted.
The culture of university rugby clubs is often thought of as somewhat different than other rugby clubs, and that was certainly my experience.
One of the highlights of my rugby career would definitely have to be lifting that Gallagher Shield in the final in 2014. And making 3 finals in 3 years, I think, is a great perspective on the club.
You know, it'd be nothing to have 10, 15,000 people at the ground. Often in a club rugby game here at night, they would be 20, 30 deep.
2 All Black captains, David Kirk, Sean Fitzpatrick.
Varsity's got a cool tradition. We've got a team song that we've had for the last 4 or 5 years.
2 chairmen of New Zealand Rugby, Brent Impey and myself.
My experience was here that it, a lot of fun, a lot of shared experiences over a beer or a lemonade, a lot of laughs, but serious when it came to the rugby business, which is on the field where you want to succeed.
We've also got the Viper, so the Viper's quite big amongst the boys for tries and celebrations and things like that. It's good to get around them.
It wasn't just a certain team like playing with the Colts or the senior team here, it was the whole club. And that was, even if you came here at 9 o'clock in the morning, the senior game was at 2:30, you'd experience the culture of the place throughout the whole day.
Seeing a lot of top-class players rock up to training like Dan Braid, Angus McDonald and Brent Ward, I guess that's what drove me to try and get to the next level, is seeing the calibre of players that we had at Varsity, and it made it much more enjoyable.
And I think the management themselves realised that there's more to sport than just the rugby. It was about enjoyment as well.
For me, and as a female especially, the club is so welcoming and there's so much team spirit.
Had pretty legendary status of some pretty good parties.
You come here after a game and, you still got half a decent crowd sticking around the club and they just want to talk to you. And, it's easy, you can go up to anyone and just speak to them like they're your mates. So it's definitely the people that attracts me to this club.
I've been back to the club in recent times on the odd occasion. The same group of guys are sitting around the fire with a beer that were here supporting the club, 30 years ago when I was playing here, and you learn a lot off them, just chewing the fat, not only rugby but business and family life and all sorts of things, and that's just a very casual environment to take away learning. So that in itself is mentoring, just in a very relaxed social setting.
So the John Drake Memorial Scholarship was set up initiated through Dad's friends here at the club and also the university. The funding the boys get is for the duration of their university studies, and that helps them with their tuition and given mentors thanks to the club.
And as far as the coaches go, Graham Henry would be the best example, where he went from coaching our Prems team on to coach Auckland Colts, Auckland, and then on to the All Blacks.
The club's got a reputation of young guys enjoying their rugby, enjoying each other's company, making a lot of good mates, and if they're ambitious as a rugby player, they've got a springboard to, if they're good enough, to play for various rep teams, under 20s or Auckland B or Auckland A or even go on to the Blues and play professionally.
If I was a young kid, I'd come here because of the people, because of the types of training you're going to get. You're going to get a lot of good communication. You're going to get a lot of good results as a player through your development, and just a lot of support from everybody here. And that's one thing our seniors do quite well, is support anybody new to the club or younger than them.
Returning from my experiences in Super Rugby or ITM Cup, fitting back into varsity is pretty simple because, I got a lot of good mates there.
It's the opportunity of a lifetime, to go into any organisation where I think one of the top priorities is developing young men and working hard on their character, not just in the rugby side of it, but as a whole. It's a very well-rounded club, and I think it leads to some pretty big opportunities.
We've been around a long time, and I think we've been a major contributor to rugby in Auckland and ultimately to New Zealand rugby as a whole.